Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be discussing another rule of rules of exponent, and that is the negative exponent rule. So negative exponent rule states that x with the negative n exponent is equal to 1 over x raised to n, or when x raised to n can also be equal to 1 over x raised to negative n, wherein x here is not equal to 0 and n is a counting number. Okay, so what does that mean? So when x has an exponent negative, we can make the exponent positive by putting down the x here down with the 1 as the numerator. So 1 over x raised to the n power. If the x here is a whole number. Okay? So ibig sabihin, pag yung x mo o yung exponential expression mo dito is a whole number at meron siyang negative exponent, ang gagawin mo to make it positive, kailangan 1 over yung exponential expression mo with the positive exponent na. Kasi sa rule ng exponent, bawal ang magkaroon ng negative exponent. So, kailangan lagi mo yung isi-simplify. Okay, now, if you have a negative exponent here with the 1 over a negative exponent here, to make it positive, all you need to do is, it's always equal. So, magiging, get the reciprocal of 1 over x minus n. So, that will be xn over 1. But since 1, the denominator is 1, we don't need to write it. Kaya, nagiging equal lang siya sa x raised to the n power. Okay? So, that's the rule for the negative exponent rule. So, to further understand what I'm saying, let us take a look at these examples. Okay? So, 2 raised to negative 3. So, how are you going to make this positive? All you need to do is, you just have to make 1 here over. Okay? Gagawin natin since whole number siya na may negative exponent. Para maging positive siya, kailangan siya maging fraction. So, 1 over kung ano man tong number na yan. So, 1 over 2 raised to the third power. Yan ay magiging sagot mo. 1 over 2 raised to the third power. Okay? Or we can simplify this as 1 over 2 raised to the third power is 8. Okay? So, 1 over 2 raised to the third power or 1/8. Okay, another one is 2 times x raised to the negative 4. So, ang mangyayari dito, as you can see, ang meron lang exponent dito na negative is the x. Okay, hindi kasama yung 2. At dahil hindi kasama yung 2, ang isi-simplify lang natin dito is the x with the negative 4. Okay, so rewriting this, we're going to have 1 over x to the fourth power. Okay, so yan yon. And then, what are we going to do next? We're going to write 2 just beside this. Or we can just write it as yung 2 times 1. Okay, kasi the 2 here, the exponent, it's not the exponent, the denominator of 2, if it's a whole number, is always 1. So, the rule in multiplication is numerator, numerator, denominator, denominator pag nagmo-multiply. Okay? So, 2 times 1 here. So, that will be 2 over x raised to the fourth power. Okay? So, ganun yan. So, this is the answer. Okay? Next. What if we have this? 4a, close and open parenthesis, negative 2. So, this negative 2 here is not only for a, it's not only for 4, but for both 4a. And because of that, ibig sabihin, Itong buo na to, it's a whole number, we have to make it into fraction para maging positive. So, this will be 1 over 4a. Okay? So, yun yun. Kasi nga, may close and open parenthesis yung 4a dyan. Okay? So, next, what about if we have this? So, this time, look, pareho pa rin 4a, but this time, the one with the negative exponent is only a. Okay? So, meaning, this a here, with the negative exponent, that's the only one that we need to make it in fraction. So, that will be 1 over a raised to the second power. So, what happened to 4? 4 will just be on top. So, we just have to write it here, or we can just have 4 times 1, so that will be 4 over a squared. So, that is the final answer. Okay? So, that will be the answer. Okay, so how are we going to do this? As you can see here, there's a technique. If it's a whole number, and then from that whole number, meron tayong negative na exponent doon, at may matitirang number on top. So, ang gagawin mo lang, since whole number naman to, or kapag i-write mo siya sa fraction, this will be with over 1, right? So, ang gagawin mo, etong with the exponent here na negative, ibababa mo lang siya. So, magiging denominator to, pero yung number or kahit ano pa yan, kung number man siya or letter or variable, pag positive siya, nasa taas lang siya. So, kaya, ang nangyari dyan, yung 4 nandito sa taas, at yung a raised to negative 2, nasa baba siya to make it positive. Okay? So, that's how we do it. Next, what if we have this kind of example naman? What if we have this example? It's a more complicated one. So, this is a combination. It's a raised to the 6th power times a raised to negative 2 over a raised to the 8th power. So, anong mangyayari dyan? Unang-una, we have to do the ones on top. Okay? So, what kind of rule is this? This is the product rule. Okay? At ang product rule states that you have to copy the bases and then after, add the exponent. So, ang mangyayari dito, that will be a and then 6 plus negative 2. Okay? And then next, over a raised to the 8th power. But in here, 6 here is positive and here the 2 is negative. And because it's unlike sign, even if we're going to add, it doesn't mean we really have to add it kasi we're dealing with integers here. So, unlike sign means we need to subtract the exponent. So, we're going to have a 6 minus 2 will be raised to the 4th power over a raised to the 8th power. Okay? Now, the next thing is we will be doing the division rule or the quotient rule. So, the quotient rule states that we are going to copy the bases. Tapos, anong gagawin natin? We are going to subtract the exponent. So, yung unang-una, yung nasa taas, 4 minus yung exponent sa baba na 8. So, 4 minus 8, that will be a raised to negative 4. At dahil ang exponent natin dito ay negative 4, ang mangyayari, we need to make this positive by writing this in fractional form. So, that will be 1 over a raised to the 4th power. Okay, so this will be the final answer. Do you understand? Okay, next, another is this. X raised to the 12th power over x raised to the 3rd power times x raised to negative 4. So, ang unang-unang isi-simplify natin here is the ones down. Okay, and this is the product rule. So, what is the product rule? The product rule states that we need to copy the bases and add the exponent. So 3 plus a negative 4. Then we just have to copy x raised to the 12th power. Okay? But take note, pag sinimplify natin yan, kokopyahin lang natin yung x raised to the 12th power dito. Tapos, 3 plus a negative 4. So, since the exponent, they have different sign, meaning we are going to subtract them instead of adding. Okay, so 3 minus or plus negative 4, so that will be negative 4 minus 3. Okay, so ang mangyayari dito, that will be x minus 1 or x negative 1. Why? Because when we are subtracting 4 minus 3, it's 1, but the exponent or the sign of the exponent for here is negative, so we need to copy the sign of the bigger number. Okay, next is we're going to do the division rule, and the division rule states that we are going to make or we are going to subtract the exponent. Okay, so copy again the bases and then 12 minus 1. Okay, so the rule here, if you have negative negative, what will be the final sign? That will be plus. Okay, so this will be x 12 plus 1. So the final answer here will be x raised to the 13th power. So this is the answer. Okay, next, what if we have this kind of example? Okay, so this time it's a combination of other rules. Okay, this is a combination of this is a division rule, this is a zero exponent rule. At the same time, meron din tayong product rule. So, ang unang-una natin gagawin is the product rule. So, again, kailangan nating i-copy yung m raised to the 8th power, over m raised to negative 7. N raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay, so times 1, and then n copy raised to negative 5. Okay, the next is we need to simplify the m and m here. Okay, so since division rule, ang gagawin natin, we just have to copy the exponent, and then after, ang mangyayari, we need to subtract the exponent. So, 8 minus negative 7, and then over 1 times n here, so that will be n negative 5. Okay, next is what? So, negative negative, so that will be positive. So, ibig sabihin, that will be m 8 plus 7 over n negative 5. Okay, simplifying this, that will be m raised to the 15th power over n negative 5. So, next, n negative 5. Paano natin siya magiging gagawing positive? So, that will be m raised to the 5th power times what? That will be 1 over n raised to the 5th power, or pwede rin siyang m raised to the 15th power times n 5. Okay, so eto na yung final answer natin. Okay, so ang ginawa lang natin, the technique here is, another technique is, this one, this is negative. Since it is in the denominator part, all you need to do is you have to bring it up. Okay, so bring it up para maging positive siya. Kasi when you write that 1 over n5, this is division. What is the rule in dividing fractions? We get the reciprocal and change it to multiplication. So, ang mangyayari, magiging m to the 15th, yung division mo magiging times, tapos, this will be, you need to get the reciprocal of this one, so the reciprocal of that one will be n raised to the 5th power over 1. So, multiplying that will get this, m raised to the 15th power times n raised to the 5 power over to the 5th power over 1. Okay, so since the denominator is 1, we don't write them. Okay, that's why we got this answer. So, eto, that will be m raised to the 15th power n raised to the 5th power over 1, which is also equal to this answer. Okay, so that's how we arrive to m raised to the 15th power times n raised to the 5th power. Okay, next, the last is, what if we have this kind of example? So, ang gagawin natin dito, as you can see, we have 3 as the exponent and another 3 here. And also, we have 5, the b and b with the 8 exponent and the negative 5 exponent. So, ang gagawin una natin, we have to combine this using the product rule. So, this one will be b and then 8 plus negative 5. Okay? And then, ko-combine din natin using product rule yung 3. So, this one, 3, negative 6 plus 3 naman siya. Okay? And then, after that, we need to simplify. So, 3, negative 6 plus 3, since the exponent, they have unlike sign, ibig sabihin, we have to subtract that. So, 6 minus 3 will be 3. But the sign of 6 is bigger and that is negative. So, kaya magiging negative 3 dyan. Okay? And then, next here, for the b naman, so that will be b 8 plus negative 5. So, unlike sign din siya. So, dahil unlike sign, we're not going to add but instead subtract. So, 8 minus 5, that will be 3. Since the sign of the bigger number is positive, so positive din yung sagot dyan. Okay, so next is here, as you can see, meron siyang negative exponent 3. So, anong mangyayari dyan? Kailangan nating i-simplify, kailangan nating gawing positive. So, this one will be 1 over 3 raised to the third power. And then, b, copy it here, raised to the third power. Or, we can also rewrite it as b raised to the third power over 3 raised to the third power, which is equal to b raised to the third power. 3 raised to the third power is 3 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. So, eto na yung magiging sagot natin. Okay? So, that's how we simplify fractions using the negative exponent and using all the exponent rules that I have discussed. Okay, so you should know and you should remember all the rules that we have discussed, because in one number, sometimes when you simplify exponent, you need to use all the exponential rule, or sometimes it can be all, but it can also be 1, 2, or 3 kinds of rule of exponent. Okay? So, that's it for today. I hope you learned something again. Again, this is Teacher Luis, your mommy tutor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. And of course, always click the notification bell so that you'll be updated in my upcoming videos. Bye!